The Group 3 Colin Stephen Melbourne Cup nominated Juja Kibo started favourite with stablemate Piggyback the next pick. Stay tuned post-race for some Melbourne Cup news.
Next Saturday. There's the light. Gates are back now. They're off and racing. Juja Kibo, Andrew Atkins has come out with some intent of going forward. Sun and Sand jump well. So did our Anchorage the inside. And Juja Kibo being sent forward going to third. Clear from Piggyback. Cleveland put to sleep early. Further back to Good Banter, Trust in You, Taramansour. And Tajanis the last one. So Alicia Collett's been able to find the front here on Sun and Sand. And Juja Kibo, just like last time, is going to stalk it on the outside. Our Anchorage was happy to hand up and take a sit on the outside of Piggyback. Two further back to Cleveland is very relaxed in the run, and the outside of Trust in You is travelling keenly. Further back to Good Banter, then the ageing Victorian Taramansour. It's tucked away on the fence, and Tajanis is back last of all. Well, Sun and Sand, she got within a half length of the Great Treasure at the moment in the Oaks earlier this year, and Alicia Collett's going to try and make all on the mare. Sun and Sand leads by 2 lengths to the favourite Juja Kibo. Piggyback with a good trail third, our Anchorage fourth, 1 out, 1 back. Then Cleveland on the outside of Trust in You. Good Banter, Taramansour, and the roughie Tajanis last of all. So they approach the halfway mark down the back of the course. Sun and Sand is galloping along, a length in front of Juja Kibo. Then Piggyback, leaders back third. A length off to our Anchorage, a couple off to Cleveland. Trust in You, Good Banter. Further back then to Taramansour and Tajanis last of all. They've got 1,000 to go, no change to the action. And Sun and Sand, placed at her only run of the distance in the Oaks, is trying to make all here. Sun and Sand by a length and a half to Juja Kibo, looking for his third Rosehill success. And Andrew Atkins certainly keeping tabs with the leader. A length and a half further back to Piggyback. Then came our Anchorage. 2 further back to Cleveland. Just being woken up a bit now. Followed by Trust in You. Good Banter being roused along from Taramansour. And Tajanis last of all. 500 to go. And Sun and Sand given a bit more rain turning for home from Juja Kibo, who stays on in second. Then Piggyback from our Anchorage, and Cleveland being wound up down to the 300, and Juja Kibo, the favourite, moved up now to take the lead away from Sun and Sand. Piggyback, then Trust in You, our Anchorage plotting, Cleveland plotting, Taramansour late, Juja Kibo in front. Piggyback is coming hard on the inside. Juja Kibo under threat. Piggyback up the inside. Piggyback has been able to wear down Juja Kibo, and Taramansour got up to finish third, Sun and Sand fourth. Further back to our Anchorage from Trust in You, then Tajanis, Cleveland.
Piggyback, a 5-year-old mare, she's not nominated for the Cup. She's actually 8 runs into this preparation, which kicked off in mid-May. By winning this race, though, Piggyback has given herself automatic entry to the Metropolitan Handicap next week. Of the losers, it's a pretty bad sign for Juja Kibo, our Anchorage, Cleveland, Tajanis and Good Banter, who are all nominated for the Melbourne Cup and couldn't make an impression today. Now to a little Melbourne Cup news though. The latest order of entry was published on Tuesday the 23rd of September. The VRC did do a very good job of hiding that info though. We now know that Aidan O'Brien's Scandinavia has been withdrawn, along with golden ticket winner Basilina. And the other headline news was Half Yours' comprehensive win in the Naturalism last week. The 5-year-old gelding won a ticket into the Caulfield Cup on October the 18th, but the win doesn't secure a ticket into the Melbourne Cup, as he's still 47th in the order of entry, down near Birdman, who was also an impressive winner last week. But unfortunately for connections of Birdman, it was a race that didn't fit the VRC's re-handicapping criteria. You can find a handy list of those races that fit the VRC's criteria in my Melbourne Cup order of entry prediction video. In other news, it's been confirmed that Firther is headed to Australia. I mentioned him as an impressive winner of the Jeffrey Freer, and since then he was 4.5 lengths 6th in the St Ledger, won by Scandinavia. He has a definite place in the Melbourne Cup field, currently 19th in the order of entry. And a shout out to Salmonim11, a regular contributor in the comments section. He actually gave me that scoop a little earlier in the week. Now to finish off, for a bit of fun, I'm going to do a Melbourne Cup field prediction. Basically, I've just withdrawn a lot of the horses that have been nominated in a kind of precautionary manner by their connections. Okay, I'm very confident of Via Sistina and Treasure of the Moment being withdrawn. Trainer Chris Waller has said Buckaroo was knocked around after last year's Melbourne Cup, so he's unlikely. Now, the Japanese entrant Chevalier Rose, I've found an article in Japanese stating that the 7-year-old was heading to quarantine. I will leave a link for that. As for Augustus, he was purchased by Australian Bloodstock with the Melbourne Cup in mind, and he is only nominated for the Melbourne Cup. Though Australian Bloodstock do see the 4-year-old as a top line stayer into the future, not specifically 2025. As for Knight's Choice, I'm predicting that he is forced to withdraw by the VRC. In the last week, there's been a bit of a mystery virus at Macedon Lodge where he's being trained, and I think in the next 7 days we'll hear that he's been forced out of the Cup. That's not a certainty, but I've also deleted Moira, Aliana and Full Count Felicia. As for Epic Poet, I haven't heard anything positive or negative. However, I don't see him nominated for anything in England, Ireland or France. And his connections are certainly not afraid to fly. He's raced in the Middle East and he's assured a place in the 24-horse field. So I'm throwing him in. I've put half yours in the field. He has to win again between now and the last Saturday before the first Tuesday in November. And if he does, I'd expect Connections would roll the dice for a Melbourne Cup tilt. Another foreign raider that I don't have much intel on is Table Talk. I've withdrawn him from my field prediction as his run in the Silver Cup was below what would be needed to be competitive in a Melbourne Cup. I have thrown in the German trained Flatten the Curve. Trainer Hank Grew sounds very ambitious, and I've also predicted Qty HCP to be withdrawn. At the moment, just not looking like the horse we saw last year. Anyways, feel free to have your say. Maybe you've got a prediction for one of the other golden ticket races coming up in the next 4 weeks. Stay tuned to Staying the Distance, the Melbourne Cup and Horse Racing Channel. I didn't see you there. Come over. I'll let you in on a little secret. This year, I'm teaming up with Melbourne Cup Max to help him publish his How to Pick the Winner of the 2025 Melbourne Cup booklet. This is definitely a must for the once-a-year Melbourne Cup punter. But if you like to do the form for yourself, you'll also find plenty of handy information in the book. So please head over to pickthecupwinner.com.au for more details.
Will commence again if you try to take our firearms.